Solve This Murder. I'm your detective, Bill.
And I'm your crime scene criminal and witnesses, Dani.
It has been so long.
I remembered it.
I know, it's been so long since we've said that. Welcome back after a fairly long break. Welcome to a new mystery. I'm excited. I've got a plan. I have experience behind me, and I'm ready to solve this murder in 10 seconds.
That's what I'm afraid of. Do you think that hiatus is going to have dampened your detective skills?
Yes.
That's okay. It will have dampened all of my skills.
Now, you sometimes say this to me, that you're worried I'm going to solve it really quickly.
Yeah.
But then I have a lot of trouble solving it.
Yeah.
So maybe do the opposite of your instincts and make it easier. Like you think I'm going to solve it in 20 seconds and then I'll get it in 20 episodes.
Understood.
Sounds good? All right, lovely. We are about to start our new mystery. I'm very excited. And as always, I want to hear your guesses. If you are listening at the end of every episode, think about what you think is going to happen and try and solve the murder. And I want you to send us an email or tweet at us, but that's much more like scary because other people might see that and go, oh, you really think it was going to be the chaplain? Men of God don't murder. So they're going to judge you. What I'm saying is Twitter will judge your solutions. But what I'm saying is send us an email at solvethismurderpod@gmail.com with your guesses and your questions and your theories and your queries. And if you get it, you're going to go on our wall of detectives. So, Dani.
Yep.
I don't know if we have any more preamble.
I'm just looking through my own notes for this going, why does that say either D5 or DS?
Oh, no.
What does that mean?
Oh no, Dani doesn't know her own notes. Let's see how this goes.
I have 4 pages of notes.
Do you need a second?
No, this should be fine.
All right, so for people who are new to this show, welcome to the show. This is a very reasonable starting point. Every first episode is a reasonable starting point. If you're starting at part 2 out of 5, or however
That's
many there are,
odd.
that would be weird. But welcome to part 1. The basis of this show is that Dani has constructed a murder mystery. She knows all the info. She knows who did it. She knows.
Yeah, that's all true.
She has full control of this murder mystery, and I, like some kind of low-budget James McAvoy, will try and solve this mystery. I am going to try and use my detective skills and my puzzle-solving abilities to question the right people, find the right evidence, and j'accuse the right j'accusee.
Yeah, now I wrote this mystery pre-hiatus, so how much of it is still in my memory? Going to be interesting.
We'll see how it goes. And I do say I use my puzzle-solving skills because Dani and I also have another show called Escape This Podcast where we design and play through escape rooms. Now, this is actually my fatal flaw. Puzzle solving is not the same as mystery solving. And this is a reminder I must constantly give myself. So I will be trying to solve the crime, not the puzzle. Because puzzles, everything's true, but in a crime, everybody lies. So I think I'm ready to go.
All right.
I've got my plan. I have a little plan in front of me of how I'm going to generally tackle a murder. I hope it applies to this particular murder. We're going to find out.
Let's make this work.
Let's go. Whisk us away.
Bring, bring, bring. I can't roll my R.
I'll do it for you.
Sound effect?
Bring, bring. Hello.
Yes, hello, Simba here. Look, we've got another one for you. It's a little bit out of the way, but I gotta be honest, I really don't want to deal with these people.
Well, look, I'm always willing to go and solve a murder. It's what I do. I don't even get paid.
Well, it's down at the, do you know the Riverwood Camping Center?
The Riverwood Camping Center?
Look, I was gonna say you might know it from your school days, but honestly, you probably don't. It's the
What are you saying about my schooling?
Well, look, it's the one for the super elite. I mean, like many other things school-related, it doesn't have any extra facilities or anything, but the rich parents pay more.
Lovely.
So they only get like a maximum of 10 kids per summer.
All right.
And unfortunately, there's been a bit of an incident down there.
Oh no, that doesn't sound good.
Well, of course not.
Well, no murder is good.
Weird.
But the murder of 1 out of 10 children sounds bad.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. It's grim business. Parents have all been called, but it may take some time for them to get there because, the kid's been dropped there from all around the country. But we'll be getting onto it, be doing all of their official witness taking and everything as soon as their parents have arrived and given permission. But in the meantime, we'd like you to go and take a look.
Yeah, of course, I'll pack my bag right away.
Scene change, scene change, scene change.
All right, so we're flying over to the Riverwood Camping Center. while I fly, I want to talk to Simba a little bit to get
You
an idea
can't
from.
talk to him on the phone while you fly.
But on my way to the airport, I'd like to talk to Simba a little bit more to try and get an idea of if he can recount to me what's happened.
Look, all we know is that first thing in the morning, the camp counselors came around to do bed checks, and one of the girls, well, she was dead in her bed.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was only like the third day of the camp. So not much had been going on, but... Yeah, I don't know. Look, let's be honest. These are the richest of rich people. And you know how it is with rich children.
They murder each other all the time, yeah.
Well, that wasn't at all where I was going with
it happens all the time.
I was going to say...
If your parents make more than $500,000 a year, there is an 82% chance you have committed a murder before the age of 18.
Oh, my. Right, okay. Well, I'll trust you on the statistics, but where I was going with that is that they can often, get involved in family drama that really wasn't theirs to begin with. Things like that, like you see it all the time. Kidnapping, hostages, and sadly, even sometimes murder.
All right. Well, thank you, Simba. Now I get my plane has just landed. I have to go. They're boarding now. No, it's landed to pick me up.
Oh, good.
So I have to go, Simba. Sorry.
All right. Scene change.
Yeah, let's
Beautiful.
go. I want to be at camp
Right.
unless something
Star
happens on
wipe.
the way.
Nope. Star wipe to
camp.
river. What did I call it?
Riverwood Camping Centre.
Yeah. Somehow in my notes I just called it school camp the entire time.
Yeah. So I'd like to get there. Is there anyone there to greet me when I arrive?
Yeah, absolutely. The owner of the camp sees you arrive, and at first she doesn't know who you are, but you flash your badge at her. You still have a badge, right?
Oh, yeah. I made it myself, but it's very impressive.
Cool. I'm glad that you could make it here on such short notice.
Please go on. It's just as soon as you started the sentence, I was so prepared to write down, okay, Gladys. All right, I'm glad that you can make it. Ah, damn, you got me.
No, my name is Harriet Hoskins. This is my camp, and obviously I'm hoping that, well, we can sort this out, get things as back to normal as quickly as possible. No one wants the shadow of something like this over themselves.
No, of course
Very
not. Of course
upsetting.
not. I can't remember if I ever had a voice as a detective. I'm pretty sure I didn't. No, of course not. Of course, it's a terrible situation. Would you mind if I began by seeing the scene of the crime where the murder has happened?
Certainly. We haven't had, the photographers come in or anything yet, so I assume not too much can be touched. That's how this works, right?
Oh, I've got a camera on my phone.
Oh.
Yeah, I do it all. I'm a one-man cop shop.
No problem. All right. Well, do what you will then. Yes. All right. Okay. So let's walk and talk so I can tell you a little bit our place. So as you can see right where you've arrived, this is the main foyer where people do our sign in. But then we walk straight down the path and most of the actual camping is done further down the hill close to the river. And you'll see as we go down the hill, we're going to pass the food hall, indoor and outdoor options naturally. And then as we continue, we'll start to see the cabins. The activities are spread all around. We've got obviously our canoe house down at one end towards the river. Somewhere a little bit further up, we've got our high ropes course.
Oh, wonderful.
All that sort of thing. The very normal school camp stuff that you probably didn't need to pay premium for, but you did anyway.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
All right. So now we're getting towards the cabins. As you can see right here, we've just got the cabins set up at the moment. Every summer, we tear them down and then build them anew.
That seems like an unnecessary use and waste of money.
Well, these kids deserve the best, don't they?
Yeah, but surely you could just build the best the first time and then be done with it.
But what if, this year
then donate money to the poor?
This year we only had 6 students. What if next year we had 10 students?
Build 10 cabins.
But then 4 students would have brand new cabins and 6 would have shabby year-old cabins.
Okay, make them pay extra.
They already pay extra.
God.
Look, it's irrelevant.
All I'm
I just
saying
wanted to explain why we have the perfect number of cabins for the number of students we had this year, which was 6.
Dani, you could have just made it 10 students. Or that there were always 6.
You want 4 more witnesses to this thing?
Okay, So I've got an idea of how this camp runs.
So this first cabin is mine. It's big enough for 2 people, but that would be ridiculous. The next cabin contains 2 of the students, 2 of the campers.
Hold on, you build a new cabin every year.
Mm-hmm.
There are 6 students and 6 cabins, but they all double up.
Oh, no, there are not 6 cabins. There are cabins enough for 6.
Oh, all right, I understand now. God, I don't like you, Harriet. Okay, so the first cabin belongs to you.
Oh, my only goal is to keep these children happy.
Not alive. That's a secondary goal, is it, Harriet?
I mean,
that's a bit of gravy.
Look,
if they don't die by the end, that's fine. That's a plus.
I've got to be honest.
You give yourself a bonus for that, do you?
If you see any advertising for a school camp ever, and the first thing on it is "I will keep your children alive,"
that's maybe a bad sign. So, what was the second cabin?
The
Sorry.
second
Let's get back to
cabin
business.
is space for 2 of the
child
students.
Has been killed.
Yes, 2 of the students. 2 of the girls were in this room. She pulls out her own phone, just scrolls through the list. That was Winifred and Chelsea.
Right in the next cabin?
The next cabin is where our 2 counselors for this holiday period have been staying. Those are Maggie and Trenton.
And there are, I'm assuming, 2 more cabins?
Yes, you're absolutely right. The next one...
Don't call me Detective King of Detectives for nothing.
Yes, so the last 2, both for the 4 students. The next cabin, unfortunately, is the one where the incident has taken place. Isabella was the other student in there, and the
victim.
Yes, that's right. That was Victoria.
My first instinct is to write her name and put an X next to it, but I feel like that's maybe disrespectful.
It's totally all right. I made her name start with V for victim, because that's what I do.
I need to name a victim. Victimium? Victoria. I've done it.
Yep.
So basically, I'm on the lookout for a character called, like, Murdred, and that's how I'll solve this one.
There is only one character starting with M.
Yeah, Maggie Murder. And who are the final 2 girls?
No, the last 2 are 2 boys.
Oh, wonderful.
And clearly being very creative here, by astonishing coincidence, these boys are Roman and Ramon.
Why would you do this?
I don't know.
All right, Roman.
I honestly don't know.
And Ramon. That's not going to be confusing at all.
You know what? Well, it's actually okay, because Roman is quite tall and Ramon is quite short. So we can just call them Tall Boy and Short Boy. And you know what? The 4 girls, by coincidence, 4 girls?
Yep.
Is that how many there are? The 4 girls all have different coloured hair, so you don't need to remember their names either.
Maybe I'll just remember their names. Maybe a list of visual characteristics on this purely audio
girl,
podcast is not going to be that helpful.
Ginger-haired girl and blue-haired girl. That's not going to help?
No, it's not.
No, my mistake.
All right.
All right, so you would like to enter this cabin. Please make sure that you wipe your feet before you enter. I assume not just for your own purpose, but, for ours. For the brief time that these cabins exist, we like to keep them in good condition, and we're right by the river.
Just knock them down anytime they get dirty and build a new one.
Intriguing thought.
Okay.
She writes it down on her phone.
Harriet. All right, so get out of here, Dani. I'm talking to the audience. Now, I have a murder-solving plan. And I don't really know if it's necessarily going to be the best murder-solving plan, but I'm going to try and stick to it as I go. And my first step is I want to investigate the scene of the crime, which is what I'm doing here, with the idea of trying to find out what happened, see if there's anything out of place, trying to collect any physical evidence that I can collect. I don't want to deal with the movements of people and their motives. I don't want to know anything about Maggie. Bloody Maggie. Who cares about Maggie? I want to know about Victoria, specifically her dead body. That's what I want to know about to start this investigation. I want to get some cold, hard facts that I know, so when I start to talk to people, the things they say, I have some reference to. Now, of course, I could do it the other way around. I could talk to people, then check out the crime to see if that matches. But I feel like maybe starting with the crime scene is a pretty solid case. So that's where I'm going, and that's my focus right now. All right. I wipe my shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Wipe my shoes? I wipe my feet.
Sure.
And I enter the cabin.
All right. So the cabin, it's perhaps a little bit more spacious than the ones you remember from your school camp days, but beyond that, nothing special. You've got some bunk beds. You've got a very ancient-looking TV. And you've got a little attached bathroom. That in itself seems to be quite a luxury from what you remember. Like, they didn't have to do it communally. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty nice. But given that they build new cabins every year, to be expected.
There's also a little sort of shelf where bags seem to have put. You can see some bags of 2 students' belongings.
And is the body here?
Yes. The body is in the bottom bunk. And you take a look. And first of all, you notice you weren't told what sort of age to expect. She looks, late teens, 15, 17 maybe.
Definitely not 16, though.
There was an implied 2 in there.
Okay.
And what you can tell from the way her body looks, this was clearly very clean, whatever happened.
Not much sign of a struggle.
No,
the bed sheets aren't all strewn about and knocked. Or
their bed sheets have been pulled down. But
there is a difference, surely, between something that has been carefully pulled down to expose a body compared to something that has been thrashed and thrown
absolutely
in a violent conflict.
However, you know that one of the counselors came and found the body. So
interesting. So maybe they've done something.
That's hard to judge. So
if they found the body, they may have pulled them back and seen.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So you do.
I would expect. Well, and so just as a follow-up, like the general state of the bedding, like the sheet underneath or the pillow, doesn't look like it's been. You feel like you'd be able to imply a violent struggle.
You wouldn't have suggested that this was a huge struggle. The amount of mess that is going on with those sheets, like the bottom sheet under the body, it looks about as much as a restless sleeper would have.
All right, lovely. So not perfectly pristine, not signs of a struggle.
Exactly. So you keep taking a look, and again, all there is really, you don't find anything particular in the bed. It's just got the pillow, undersheet, doona.
There's no cryptic messages from the killer hidden under the bed?
No, strangely not.
Okay, well, so moving on from the bed, can I have a look at her actual body? Like, are there signs of anything that's, like, is there a knife in her chest? Is it like, I want to examine the body to see if I can get an idea, because I don't know a cause of death yet.
Yeah, I'd like to think I would have mentioned the knife chest.
Well, you never know. I haven't looked at it yet.
You give her body a bit of a once-over, and you don't find anything supremely obvious. No bullet holes, no, needle holes in the neck. What you do notice, just one small thing, both of her wrists have a little bit of redness around them.
Oh, redness like it's been rubbing against something? Or like
exactly.
Interesting. If I look closely, does it look like if it was like a corded rope or something that was tied around her wrists, maybe it would leave a sort of like a ridged impression that you could see, this could be like the ties in a rope or something like that, or a chain, or is it just a vague redness to the skin? You
get the impression that is entirely a possibility. However, what it does tell you, there are no obvious things like that, but you don't want to rule them out based on the looks of these wounds, which leads you to deduce this probably didn't happen like right before she was found.
Interesting. So if it is something, it's something that would indicate, I don't want to say a lifestyle choice. I want to say...
No, not like super old. Like it may have just been a matter of hours. Like, if you were to, say, tie something around your wrist, even if it was crazy tight, you'd take it off for a couple of hours, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, it's not like the rope has come off her wrists an hour before I got here. Okay, interesting. Red wrist, but no, we've just found a dead body.
Yeah, you don't see anything that looks like it would be there. I mean, theoretically... Man, could it have been a sheet? Could it have been a piece of clothing from her bag? I suppose. But you don't see anything that is an immediate, aha, it was that.
Sure. Now, is there any reason specifically that I've been called in as a murder-solving expert? Is there anything that indicates this isn't, say, she had a weird congenital heart problem we didn't know about? Like, what is it that means this was kind of called in as a murder? Do we have any idea?
Largely, as Simba was sort of trying to suggest to you, these are the level of rich kids where that sort of thing is suspicious.
Okay, so there would be some reason people would expect her to have been killed.
Not even just her specifically, that's just the sort of level of family it is. But you're absolutely right. You can't tell from looking at it what it was that killed her.
I wonder if I can get a...
But it does seem pretty unlikely that a 15 to 17-year-old girl would just suddenly have heart failure in the middle of camp.
I mean, that's true. I wonder if, presumably, I may have access to a coroner's report at some point later on. If someone can come and get the body and do a coroner's report, they might be able to find out, like, oh, she died from this knife I found that she'd ate.
You have an amazing coroner that you know. You take a photo.
Take a photo and send it. I text them a photo of this dead girl. So like, hey, what killed her?
Basically, if it is a toxicology related thing, they won't be able to help from that. If it's something else, they may.
Okay. But I probably won't have someone to examine the body on site now.
They'll maybe get there in a day or so.
Sure. But by that time, the killer may have fled to Jamaica.
Oh, no.
And I'll have no way of tracking them down.
Well, that's just easy. You search all the kids' luggage for plane tickets to Jamaica.
I've solved
Done.
it. It's going to be in Murdery's bag. Interesting. So she's just dead. So what could it be? I mean, it could be something like she could have been poisoned in the Pacific. There's no signs of like anything being injected or like, I don't know how thorough a search I can do for that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't be able to find
moderately,
it if I did.
But yes, you could not find anything.
But maybe if later on I find out that someone has a secret needling technique, maybe I'll have to second guess that. Interesting. So I don't even know the how. Can I have a look through this cabin? I want to see if there's anything else. Like, for example, I'd love to, with all respect, go through her bag.
Mm-hmm.
Try and see if maybe there's something in there, like a note that says, someone said they were going to kill me. It was Maggie. She did it. And then maybe you're right. Maybe it is a very quick solve.
No, what you find in there seems to be, again, some very elaborate teen girl outfits. These do not look particularly camp appropriate. They are extremely fashion conscious. The shoes are all wrong for sport. And the phone looks like it should not be this close to water, even a little bit. It looks like it costs $5,000.
Just quickly, I don't want to be too invasive of privacy, but, got to find out who killed this girl. Does her phone unlock?
It does not. It is locked. However, that is one of the things that you could probably send off to have opened.
Ah, wonderful. Well, I will do that at the end of this sort of like investigative session now.
Cool.
I'll send that phone off to see if someone can, if my tech boys, the boffins back at the lab, can hack into that phone. Where can I write? I'm going to jump over to my next page. And I'm going to have a little thing up the top to go to be boffined. And I'm going to write phone. Great. So now I can check on that later to see if it gets boffined, tick it off. So that was in her bag. So I'm assuming that's pretty much everything in there. There's no, you didn't check the hidden front of the bag. You're not trying to gotcha me like that.
No, not at all.
You're trying to gotcha our audience. How rude. Interesting. Okay, and if I check the, maybe I should ask before I check the other girl's bag. Maybe that should be more of an announcement than a secret stealth thing. Well, maybe not. I don't know how nice to be to Isabella. If I search around,
if you take a look at what clothes you can see that are not packed tightly into what must be Isabella's bag.
Yeah, thank you.
You can see one or two T-shirts that have like symbols from TV shows, from very current TV shows on them, some muddy sneakers, and beyond that, nothing particularly stands out. And honestly, compared to Victoria's clothes,
she seems much more set up for camp.
That in itself stands out.
Yeah, that's it. These seem like non-super rich girl clothes. I wonder if she got in here on a camp scholarship. She seems like she's actually here to have a fun camp. So maybe they didn't get along very well. I don't know if girl doesn't like girl is going to be cause for murder. That's a bit weird. So I don't know if like personal not getting along is going to be a motive. She didn't like sport the way I do. So I poisoned her in the night.
Exactly.
I'm Isabella. Okay. And I'll check again. Like if I do a search around the cabin, look at the window. Like, is there any indication? Actually, that's a question. Was this cabin or are the cabins locked in general? Like, what happened? Or is it just open through the night? Like, if you wanted to walk into a cabin in the middle of the night, I could ask Harriet. I say, Harriet?
Yes.
What are these cabins like through the night? Are they left unlocked? Did the girls have keys, or what is the situation?
No, of course they're left unlocked so that the counsellors can do night rounds to make sure that everyone is asleep when they're supposed to be.
Okay, interesting. And what time are they meant to be asleep?
Lights out at 11.
Great. Okay, so you wouldn't need to look for signs of forced entry or things like that because entry wouldn't need to be forced.
No, absolutely not.
That was slightly more soliloquous, Harriet. But all right, what do you think?
No, I mean, it's generally by the good discipline that our students have as upstanding members of society that they don't go running between cabins in the middle of the night.
Sure, yeah, sure.
However, no, we rely on them to uphold their own morals. I do not restrict that. However, our counsellors do still make the rounds to make sure that the nights go smoothly without impropriety.
Interesting. I'll have to talk to these counsellors. Okay, so I'm thinking of anything else I can do. Right, my notes for investigating a scene are like seeing if there's anything that's out of place. But everything seems to be fairly normal here, and it's hard to look at whether, like, you know, an open window is not indicative of someone sneaking in through a window. An unlocked door is not indicative of someone coming in through the door. Can I look in through the bathroom that you said was attached? Is there anything
Nothing exciting
interesting
about that.
It's just a bathroom? Yeah. Okay, interesting. There's no things hidden in the cistern of the toilet?
Nope.
Okay. All right, so I think that's enough. For me, that's as much investigating of the scene that I can do. I now know kind of what it looks like and what's going on. I haven't found out a huge amount about even what the murder was. So I think my next step is to try and get, again, not going into motivations too much yet. I want to find out what happened. And I think to do that, my best bet is to chat to, oh my gosh, which ones were the counsellors? Maggie and Trenton, the counsellors.
See, it's so much easier when you just label it C1 and C2 I did.
I wrote counsellors above their cabin. I just couldn't see it.
Gotcha.
Maybe speak to the counsellors.
All right, so they're only...
Especially the ones who found the body.
Yeah, okay, so their room is one cabin over, but everyone at the current time is probably chilling at the main building or maybe the food hall elsewhere. So you go back on your walk uphill, and as you do...
I'd just like to make a quick note. At some point, I'm going to come back and check all these cabins secretly.
Sure.
Maybe. It depends. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And as you do, you walk back up the path to these main buildings, your phone goes off.
My phone?
It's your good old coroner friend.
Oh, he works quick.
Right? You happen to get them at a good moment. And they have responded, oh, I know that look. That's asphyxiation.
Oh.
But no neck marks, so probably the smothering kind.
Oh, dang. You can do that in bed. That's like a pillow. Solve This Murder is created by Bill Sunderland and Dani Siller as part of our network, Consume This Media. To find out more about this show and other shows that we do, head to consumethismedia.com. For questions, queries, and theories, you can send us an email at solvethismurderpod@gmail.com. Thank you to Jared, Devon, and Whit from Advanced Sage Russian Shootouts for creating our theme music, and thank you for listening.